Hey everyone. I just wanted to talk to you about a delightful young woman that I interviewed for my podcast and the series Why She Trusts God. Her name is Elise Tegegne, and she wrote this book, In Praise of Houseflies, Meditations on the Gifts in Everyday Quandaries. Um, she writes in a contemplative sort of style, uh, and weaves together these beautiful stories. Let me tell you a little bit about her. So she is a mama, an editor, and a writer with published articles in Risen Motherhood, Christian Parenting, and Encourage. She's also a director of communications for a mission organization, and she writes a monthly blog. And she also taught at a mission school for 4 years in Ethiopia. And now she lives with here in the States with her husband and 4 year old. So during our conversation, we talked about a couple uh, portions of her book. One was on trust, obviously, but the quandary of cancellations and what you're supposed to do with that. You know, for some of us, that's completely unnerving. We think the situation is under control, plans are moving in a forward direction, and all of a sudden it hits a brick wall. And we talk about how we can cultivate a mindset that helps us to remain balanced in a situation that can be very stressful. And then we also talked about uh, cancellations and Sabbath and this whole idea of letting something die so something else can grow. And we had a great conversation about that. And then we also talked, about fear, um, you know, why it's valuable to invite fear and how God can flip our script from fear to faith. But there were many portions of the book that obviously we couldn't talk about the whole thing. But in the one chapter on, let's see, I'm looking at the book right now, the garden cue on waiting. And she writes, I know I will always be waiting on something. And that's true. All of us are waiting on something. And then once we get that thing, we're waiting on something else. And she talks about how in the waiting, it's actually a connection with God. In the waiting, it's a glimpse of the divine. It's an opportunity. And so I one of my comments was some of us are waiting and some of us do not realize they should be waiting. Um, so anyway, I hope you'll enjoy the podcast. It will come out October 1st, and I already have my guest lined up for November. She wrote The Widow's Comeback, a beautiful woman, and I'm looking forward to that as well. All right, until next time.